Right, so today I'm going to replace the carb on this BR430. I bought this about 5 months ago second hand, probably a mistake. I bought a new one since, because it's a bit more reliable. But I thought, well, it's supposed to be a storm today. So I thought, well, there's a storm outside, I'll get some stuff that I've been meaning to get done. So I'm going to try and replace the carburettor on this BR430. And my girlfriend will not be happy that I'm using the table and putting a towel down as protection, but we'll crack on anyway. So this is a new carburettor that's come. And that is what we're going to replace today. First off, using the tool that Stihl give you, it's to take off the air filter cover. Not too bad. Next up, we take the bit where the pull start is off. It's 3 holes, just undo them. Once that's off, we're going to take this cover off. One there, and there's one under there, as you can see. So I'm going to take those off. Hopefully pull the whole lot off. Right, and once, this has seen better days on it, but once this is all off, we want to take this bit off. That's what I'm going to do now. A couple of bolts here. Should just slide off then. Okay, so that there is the carburettor. And we need to take this little casing off to get to it. So what you do, find your socket set. I've got an 8mm socket, and there's 2 in here. I already took one off. I just need to get those 2 off there. There we go. Just before I go ahead, I've took this case off, and I still can't get the orange case off. But that is because I forgot about the bolt down here. So we'll undo that one, and it should come off then. Once it's off, you can see the carb fully, and then you want to take these fuel lines off. Right, once the fuel lines are off, there and there, they're actually quite hard to get off. There's a little split in this one. I'm hoping it'll be okay, but it's really solid to get off. This will then slide off, and then you'll be left with your actual your cable for your accelerator, and that all you do is actually just pop off, and there it is. Right guys, so here's the old carb taken off. Here's the new one I'm going to put back on. To put it back on in the right way, obviously you can see the two bolts coming out. You can hold it like the choke should be facing outwards. That's a choke there, the little knob at the top. And this bit here is clipping onto the fuel line, and then this bit will be onto the throttle cable. So you want your fuel line to be at the top, and you want to line the holes up. So I'm just trying to struggle doing it with one hand. Push it on, and then you can see that top fuel hose will click onto there. This bottom one will go onto there, and the throttle cable will then clip on to that there. So just while I'm here, what I am going to do, I'm going to keep that there. I'm going to put that then fuel line onto that, and I'm going to push it on, and then I'll attach the top fuel line separately. Yeah, just to be clear on the last clip on the throttle cable, it might look like I'm just skipping over it, but it's actually quite easy. All you do, that bit's where it's going to clip onto the throttle cable. All you do, put the thin bit of wire on, and then it just slides up, and then it's attached. And you pop it over those 2 prongs, and then you do your fuel lines, or whichever way you find easier. I find this way easier. So yeah, as you can see, the bottom fuel line's back on, the throttle cable's back on, and then I'm just going to pop it back on here, slide it on, and then pop that on there. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot. Don't forget to pop this on as well when you do it. comes with the new one. And that is the old one. Right guys, now the carburettor's on. Make sure all the fuel lines are clipped into place, all's nice and firm. All connected. I'll push this up. Obviously when you put your case on, it'll tighten it all together when you do your bolts up. And I'll show you how to reassemble it. Make sure this throttle cable sits into there, otherwise the throttle won't work. So as you can see, if I pull the throttle cable now, the whole thing's moving. But if you miss putting the cable in, oh, it's still working. Hang on a minute. But it's not a strong, it's not really working. So make sure that is always in place there for it to work. So when you're putting this case on, it won't go on unless all those, unless the throttle cable and the fuel lines are in the right place, otherwise it'll be quite fiddly. So I'll attach the picture again after this, make sure they're all in the correct place. Obviously, the carb is in between the casing and the prongs come through, and you want to push them up as tightly as you can. And you want it all lined up, the holes all lined up, and then we'll just get it connected now. Like I said, just make sure though the fuel lines are in the right spot, otherwise you'll have trouble getting this casing on. Next step, put this back on. Make sure there's no grit in there. It's quite clean, very clean actually. It's quite oily as well, which is good, it's what we want. And you want to just pop this in there, line it up, pop it in. Once that's on, we'll just tighten up the little bolts and we're good to go with it. Right, when you're doing this cover, you don't want to do it too tight, just do it tight enough but not super tight. And while you're here, you might as well get a new filter, put the filter in as well. There you go, pop that in there, and then simply just put this cover on, same way you took it off. Okay, now this is back on. Again, it's just two bolts, tighten them up, not too tight, and then we'll get the main bit back up on the back. Right, there you have it, all bolted up. That was actually quite fiddly, but it's not really much I can show you, just got to sort of figure it out. And then next, put the whole start back on. Literally straight on, 3 bolts, and that'll be it. Right, now that's back on, and all together, we are good to go. I know this blower has seen better days, it's filthy, it needs a good clean, but for the sake of the video, I just want to take the carburettor on and show you what to do. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe. And now it's time for me to get this tidy, because if my girlfriend sees this on her table, she'll be absolutely mental.